What's going on, everybody? So before we get into what we're going to talk about today, I just wanted to say this channel is presented by After Dark Sports and Browns After Dark. Please be sure to check out Browns After Dark every Sunday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Follow us at Browns After Dark on Twitter. What's up, guys? I have an exciting announcement for you today. I can now officially say that I am proud to be partnered with the Offside Sports Network. You might be asking yourself, well, what does that mean? Well, nothing on this channel is really going to change as far as what you see and hear, but this is going to open the door to more opportunities for things such as more shows, podcasts, merch down the road, sponsorships, and it's going to allow you to be a part of a fantastic community. I am very happy to be involved and partnered with the Offside Sports Network. Be sure to go check out the Discord if you would like. People in there non-stop just about every day. It's a fantastic community you're going to want to be a part of. So be sure to check out the Discord and follow Offside Sports Network on Twitter. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of the Browns After Dark podcast. So it's just me and JC so far today. Cozy is at training camp. He's supposed to be jumping on at some point. This is basically a free-for-all. I mean, whoever shows up, shows up. It is what it is. But right off the bat, I wanted to just kind of get this out here. We are not here to talk about the details of any of the cases or anything like that. None of us here, as far as like your host and co-host of BAD, are lawyers. I certainly am not a lawyer. I'm not here to tell you how you should feel. I'm not here to tell you what you should expect or what you should have felt about a suspension. What we're here to do is basically talk about the ruling, because it is now officially 6 games. The NFL does have the ability to appeal. Deshaun could sue. We'll see how this unfolds. But basically, in today's podcast, we're going to talk about what this 6-game suspension means, what it means for Jacoby, what it means for the start of the season as a whole and the rest of the Browns season. And we're going to get into some other things. So as of now, it's just me and the Frog Boy. So what's going on, JC?
That's right. Frog Man is what it's actually.
Okay.
How it has been said, but yeah, man, I'm doing good. I'm ready for this to finally be over. We're basically there. I think we'll know within the next 3 days if we are officially there. But I think as long as this took, the NFL should, hopefully know what their plans are, and what they're going to do with this. So, within the next 3 days, we should really, really know, how this is going to shake out. 6 games, there's a reason we signed Jacoby. I'm good with him for those first 4 games at least that we have that look very manageable. So, let's get into it.
All right, let's talk about the schedule. You just brought it up. I have it pulled up here in front of me. So week 1 is obviously the Carolina Panthers. That, to me, I've been talking a lot with Panthers fans. I've been on a Panthers podcast. I just want to say 9 out of 10 Panthers fans that I've talked to so far have been really, really nice people and very reasonable to talk to. So if you're one of them from that show or that podcast, checking my channel out, thank you. Appreciate it. Look forward to talking with y'all some more. But in my opinion, that Panthers game is definitely winnable. I don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback at this point, because if we're being honest, Baker's not looked great. I mean, he's still learning the offense. He's still coming back off an injury. But I would expect one of the two, of Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield, to end up being the starter. And I think we can get the job done with Jacoby. I think it'll be competitive. But I'm confident in our defense, and they have a really good defense. But again, what we've talked about, the bread and butter of what the Browns do, they're going to ask Jacoby to throw in a 15-20 yard window, probably shorter than that, run the ball, play defense. I think that's absolutely a winnable game, even with Jacoby. What do you think, Chasey?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the way that I'm looking at it is more of tiers of games. There's 2 or 3 of the games that we probably should win. There's, probably 2 of them that we definitely shouldn't win, and then a couple that are in between. So that's how I'm looking at it. This is definitely one of the winnable ones, though. Regardless of who's there, Darnold's had struggles his whole career. Baker, if he's there, even if he is their quarterback, which I think he probably should be, and I think he's probably better than Darnold. Like you said, he's coming off injury and is still learning the offense. So, he might be a little rusty there. So, yeah, no, this is absolutely a winnable game. I saw the standings, and I didn't realize but the Falcons had a better record last year than the Panthers did. So they're really not a great team. I think they had a pretty decent draft, getting an offensive tackle, right? They really need an offensive line. Icky, exactly. Really good offense. My OT1 actually, but their offensive line is still bad, and it's one of the things that both of those quarterbacks that they have really struggle with. So, and one of the things that is our strength with our defensive line, at least on the edge department. So, yeah, absolutely a winnable game. It's going to be very rough for us if we do lose that game. And I think it's definitely possible, especially if Baker comes out with the fire and just kind of will. He could have an amazing week 1 and be terrible the rest of the year. That's not even out of the question. So definitely a game we could lose. It's going to be a really, really hard week after if we do lose that game. But honestly, if you had to, flip a coin and say, or flip a coin, it's a terrible analogy. But if you had to guess if we should win it or should lose it, we probably should win that game because they're still not a great team.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And plus, you got to understand the Panthers, one of their key pieces, J.C. Horn's coming off an injury. I'm not aware what his status is going to be for week 1. The Panthers fans that I've talked to, it kind of blows my mind, dude. Some of them think J.C. Horn's an absolute bust, and they should have never picked him. And I'm just like, what?
No way. Yeah.
It's like, you could trade him here.
Right, absolutely. We'll take him.
No, I thought J.C. Horn was great, personally.
I agree. I liked him. I think that there were reports that the Browns really, really liked him coming out too, and then obviously he went before our pick. But yeah, and he's really, really good. I can't believe was that on the podcast you went on? They kind of were talking about that, or you just have seen that? Really? No, He's really good. I'm especially with us in our wide receiver core, every day kind of looking scarier and scarier. Going up against a team that has a really good cornerback one like that's a little scary. But honestly, C-Mac is probably going to be the X factor in that game. It's going to be, is JOK going to be able to neutralize him or not? That's probably going to be the biggest thing that we have to watch out for week 1.
Yeah, I agree. And then week 2, the home opener for the Browns, the New York Jets. Listen, the Jets got a ton of great pieces in the draft. I think they had the best draft out of all 32 teams, personally. But if you're going to look at this realistically, rookie receiver Garrett Wilson, rookie tight end, you got
rookie running back,
rookie defensive end. I'm trying to think what all else they got. Sauce Gardner.
Tackle. Did they get a tackle too? Rookie tackle?
I can't remember if they did or not. I don't believe so because it was Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, and then Brees.
That's right.
No. Jermaine Johnson. That was their third first-round pick. Yeah. So I think all these guys are going to be great. I think, we've talked about this for a long time, diving deep into these guys and these draft picks. But listen, it's week 2. How much are you going to expect from these guys week 2? And Zach Wilson, what has he shown to tell you that he's going to be a great quarterback in his second season? Really nothing, in my opinion. So this should be a absolute win for the Browns, in my opinion. At home, it's your home opener. Jacoby or not, I think this is a win for the Browns.
I agree. This is my second most confident game after, we'll talk about week 4. But I think that they have a bright future. I try to tell, when I talk to Jets fans they really just remind me of where we were back in, 17, 18, 19, right? And, of course, they never went 0-16, they never went 1-31, whatever. But they're in a spot where they have accumulated all these assets. They have all of these draft picks that are first-round talents that should be really good for them, back when we had Ward and Chubb and we had Baker and Miles and all this. But you have a bunch, your whole core of your team is first and second year players. I think that they're going to be a pretty good team this year. I think that they're going to lose a lot of close games just because they have all of those young guys that are really the best players on their team. Like you said, their top target, their top running back. Zach Wilson had a very, up and down, really, really not a great statistical season last year with a ton of potential. So, again, I just think they're right there. They're right before they're supposed to be a good team. And I think it's just going to be tough for them to really close out games this year because they got to win. They got to learn how to win in the NFL. And again, we kind of saw that with our teams back then, and they got to gel together too. I mean, we're talking about first off a bunch of young guys, but also a bunch of young guys who haven't really played together yet. So they've got, again, a bright future, but I think this year's going to be a decently tough year for them win wise, and especially week 2. Like I'm so glad we got them week 2, because if we were talking week 10 or 11, yeah, it'd be a different story. They'd have a little bit of time. They're a team that could they could lose one week to a really bad team, and the next week they could beat the Rams. Right? They're going to just be like that this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing, young coach Rob Saleh is going into his second year as a head coach. So it's just really young across the board. If you're a Jets fan, I'd be excited. Hey, I agree. You got a ton of great talent, but you got to understand there's a process to the talent. It takes time. We've learned that. I think a lot of teams just kind of assume you bring guys in, they're going to be great day one. It's not always how it works. So I think that is, I agree with you, the second most winnable game out of these first 6. And then after that, the Browns had the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, we had some news today. Take it for what you will. It is a little bit early, but the Steelers apparently are, telling Mitch Trubisky it's his job to lose. So we haven't gotten to the preseason yet. Still early on in camp for the most part, but it seems like we could be playing Mitch Trubisky as of now, but either way, obviously it's going to be Pickett or Trubisky. I don't see Rudolph. This game, the Steelers' defense got even better, in my opinion. I love some of the additions that they've gone out and gotten, whether it be draft, free agency, whatever. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to that offense, right? If the Browns can move the ball on the ground on that Steelers defense, I think we're fine. I'm extremely confident with the Browns defense against Kenny Pickett or Mitch Trubisky. I'm not concerned in the slightest. That's just me. But it is the Steelers, so I feel like this is one of the tougher games.
Yeah, we saw it last year, right? There's no way we should have lost that team either game, and we lost them both. I'm not going to be able to sit here and confidently say that with a backup quarterback, as good of a backup quarterback that I think Jacoby is, that we're going to be able to beat them this game. I think this is one of those, just like the Carolina game, where it's absolutely possible, though, right? The one thing I don't want to see is I don't want to see us lose 17-20 like we did last year, right? Or 17-14 or something like that. That's going to be very frustrating because, Jacoby's probably going to have to make 1 or 2 plays. It's probably going to be a low-scoring game, like I just said there. But, really none of those quarterbacks scare me. Mason Rudolph, I think, is terrible. Kenny Pickett is it seems like struggling as a 24-year-old rookie. I think he is going to be, anytime you hear an analyst say, at his ceiling, maybe he could be Derek Carr. Like, that's just not a guy you draft in the first round, right? And we kind of saw that with no one else picking a quarterback after them for a full 2 rounds. So I'm not scared of Pickett, especially if Pickett makes his first start week 3 in a short week against our team and against Myles Garrett. Mm-hmm. They're in for a rough week. And I tell you what, if Pickett's starting, I think our chances go up a ton. Trubisky, I think it's almost going to come down to a quarterback battle. Like, which of those 2 quarterbacks can make like a couple plays, right? Because, if either of them are really able to get, let's say one of them throws 2 touchdowns, that's probably going to be the team that wins.
Yeah, I agree. At the end of the day, I'm just really confident with the 2 guys we got on the ends. Jadeveon Clowney has had injury problems. Last year it wasn't terrible. I still think that's a question, just given the history of the course of his career. But week 3, I'd have to imagine, knock on wood, that both of those guys are going to be healthy and ready to go. And I'm sorry, but Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney against Mitch Trubisky or a rookie quarterback, I'm cool with that. Absolutely.
They didn't really do their offensive line too many favors, right? Like, they didn't upgrade like the Bengals upgraded. They didn't really put a line in front of any of those guys who are pretty much going to need it. I'll say Trubisky's the one guy of those 3 that I would like to not start. I do think we could beat him, but I think he's their best option to beat us that week because, again, we're talking about a rookie quarterback on a short week. That is a Thursday. So if that's Kenny Pickett's second or first start, I think he's going to have a tough time, just like Justin Fields did last year. I don't think it's a good idea for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Steelers, it's such a flip-flop game. I can't see it this close. Hold on. Let me grab my phone.
While you do
That's
that,
a
I will say too, I think that depending on how that game goes, if you're a Steelers fan, Kenny Pickett's first start very well could be week 4. It's obviously going to depend on how the first 2 weeks go as well. But I would say if I had to guess, if everyone stays healthy, that Trubisky will be playing us week 3. And if he has a bad first 3 weeks, you can definitely expect that Kenny Pickett might be making that first start in a week and a half of prep time going into their week 4. I think that's extremely possible.
Yeah, and that week 3 game is going to be on Thursday Night Football. So take for that what you will. Week 4, I think you'll probably agree with this. This is by far the easiest game not even just in the first 6 games on the schedule.
Maybe the year.
Yeah, the Falcons should be a top 3 pick in the NFL draft. I would put money on that today. The game is at home, I believe, against the Falcons. So, I mean, there's not really much to say on this. You're going to be facing either Marcus Mariota or kid from Cincinnati, Desmond Ritter. And I think it's going to be Mariota personally. And they went out and they got the king himself, Drake London. Well, guess what? Drake London's not going to be able to be effective against our corners. Kyle Pitts is a great player. They got some talent there, but in my opinion, I really don't care who's starting for the Browns. This should be a dominant win, in my opinion.
Yeah, very much so. If Kenny Pickett, oh my gosh, if Kyle Pitts absolutely shreds us, it's their only chance. I do like Drake London a lot. I just don't see a way that he's going to be able to be effective against our corners. I think they're just going to be able to, our corners are not crazy lengthy or anything like that, but I think they're going to be able to out-athlete him as a player who has 3 games under his belt. And I don't see him doing really much for them. They don't have much around their entire offense. Kyle Pitts is very good. Like, he's going to be a superstar probably, but he's going to have to, as a second-year player, just carry that entire team. And I just don't see it happening. I think our offense is going to definitely be able to do enough that game that we should. I agree. I think they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league. I think C.J. Stroud is in their future, and I don't think we're really going to have a problem. If we lose that game, it's going to be one of the toughest losses that we've had in the last couple of years. Really, honestly, it's going to be really tough.
They have absolutely no business losing that game, in my opinion. No. We're adding Wes here. What's up, Wes?
What's up? My bad. I got out of work late.
No, you're good. So we're currently going through the first 6 games and kind of talking about what it means and what to expect with Jacoby. So we just covered the Falcons. If you want, I guess, up to these first 4 games that we're at now, how do you think the Browns are going to do with Jacoby starting? You got the Panthers, Jets, Steelers, and then Falcons.
Well, first, I just saw a tweet before I hopped on here that I can't believe I just saw. And they're still pushing that Jimmy G nonsense. Jake Trotter just tweeted the question.
Are you serious?
The question now for the Browns is, do they ride out with Jacoby for 6 games or go get Jimmy Garoppolo?
Let me respond to that. So if Jimmy G gets cut and we bring Jimmy G in, Wes, is that Wes?
You think he gets cut?
Wait, is that Wes? Someone's like ringing feedback in. Is it you? Yeah. It's like just mute when you're not talking.
Yeah, my bad.
Was it him? Okay, no, we're good. Cut all that out. That was terrible. So,
No.
So this is what I'll say. If Jimmy G gets cut, which a lot of people have kind of brought up because for some reason, I guess we're not going to trade for him. I'll just say that first off. I do not want to trade for him. It's not worth it. Whatever we have to give for him is not worth the upgrade that he's going to be over Jacoby. If he gets cut and we have to pay him the veteran minimum, which is $800,000 or $1 million or whatever it is, and we can have Jimmy G for close to free over Jacoby for 6 games, I'd do it. Yeah, I like Jimmy G better than Jacoby in a straight bubble.
But, but A, does he get cut? I don't think so. B, is he gonna take a deal on a vet min? I don't think so.
I think if he
wrong.
gets cut, the reason that he would take a deal on a vet min is the same reason that the Rams paid OBJ the veteran minimum, and that's because the Niners are going to be paying most of his salary anyway. So it doesn't really matter what we pay him.
That's true.
And it's about injuries too. If I'm Jimmy Garoppolo, I'm sitting back and I'm waiting. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's going to get hurt. It's inevitable.
Like I said, I'd do it. If we, let's say 6 weeks in, we could trade Jimmy for like a 6th-round pick, free 6. You know what I mean? I don't know if that would happen, but like I said, in a bubble, would I take Jimmy over Jacoby? I probably would. I think Jimmy G is getting a little bit underrated. But at the same time, too, he's going to kind of come in with no work with the offense. So I think at this point, it's really we just got to focus on Jacoby and getting him as ready as we can for 6 weeks. And I'm not really worried about him. I think he can hold the fort down for those 6 weeks, and we'll get the record predictions in a minute. But I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. So we have up next the not San Diego Chargers. Jeez. The Los Angeles Chargers. That game, is that game home or is that's home? Okay. The Falcons game was away. I was wrong. So we have the Chargers at home. I still think we can be competitive with the Chargers just running the ball. Like when you look at the game last year, all of our passing plays were pretty much just an Njoku and a lot of run after catch. Is kind of how we hung in there with the Chargers.
Baker was still hurt. He was hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty bad this game. And he played well, but
yeah, I think we can still be competitive, but I don't think we're gonna win this game. I love the additions that the Chargers have brought in. I think Herbert's gonna be great as always, and I don't know. I just feel like this is the first game on the schedule in the 6th that Jacoby's gonna be starting. That I can confidently say I don't believe we're going to win. That's just me. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, I was going to say, dude, I don't know what it is about the Chargers. I used to love them, especially when they had LT. But, I know it's like a different era now, but they're notorious for having good teams and never being that good. You know what I'm saying? I think it was, you probably know what I'm talking about, Frog. I think one year they had the number 1 rated offense and defense, and I think they would missed the playoffs.
Yeah, they. I mean, if you even think back to when they had LT and Phillip Rivers, the same thing. They never even made a Super Bowl together.
Yeah, I know everyone loves them, especially the last 2 years. I guess it's almost kind of like a way that people have talked about the Browns for forever. I'll give them their flowers when I see it. They're good.
Second-year coach too.
Huh?
Second-year coach as well.
Yeah, I'm not just gonna guarantee that they beat us. I think, and like we said, dude, Baker played them last year. He played good, but some weeks the Chargers can look amazing, and then other weeks, dude, they could look like dog shit. So who knows? Oh wait, am I not?
Yeah,
no, you're good. You're good.
All right.
So what I'll say is last year, and this, when I took a look back at the season, it really frustrated me because if you think about it, let's think about these couple games. The Chargers, did we get their best game of the year? We might have. The Patriots, we probably got their best game of the year. The Cardinals, we absolutely got their best game of the year.
We got the Patriots' best game of the year.
Absolutely. We got the best out of so many teams last year. The Steelers almost both games. I mean, well, not the second game, but we got the best out of so many of our losses last year that it was just almost sickening because the Chiefs, too. The Chiefs, not at the end of the season, but the Chiefs played us great. Then they went on a terrible next 6 weeks. So last year, we got a lot of teams' best. It was super unfortunate, and especially when you look at the fact that if we had 1 or 2 more wins, we might have won the division. As crazy as last year was, we were going to be playing for the division week 17 or week 18. So, I think it really depends, especially with, again, you're talking about that second-year head coach who's becoming a little bit controversial. If they beat themselves, we have a chance to win this game. I absolutely expect us to lose it. I think we're going to lose it, and I'm going to chalk it up as a loss. But, if they beat themselves or if we don't get their best, which we absolutely did get their best last year, then I think it's absolutely a game that it's not impossible for us to win. I will say the first 6, hardest game for sure. I think they should be the best team in the AFC with the roster that they have on paper. We've seen before as Browns fans that doesn't really matter. But I think it's absolutely the hardest game that we have in the first 6.
You think they're best roster in the AFC, really?
I think that they should be the 1 seed. And I know they play in a tough division, so that it is going to be tough. The Bills actually should be the 1 seed, but I think that they should win that division. I think that they have probably the best complete roster in the AFC.
Adding J.C. Jackson, in my opinion, is going to be huge.
And was it Vaughn or Khalil Mack? Who did they?
Yeah, they got Khalil Mack. That's right.
Yeah, Khalil Mack. That's who the one I'm really thinking of.
I mean, you can make an argument though that we're like right there with them.
You could, but you could last year too, and we didn't even have a winning record. So that's kind of,
because our quarterback was poop.
Well, there you go. So I expect our quarterback to be good still.
Right. Oh yeah, you're saying in a like for that game, yeah. But I'd say overall, like I don't know. We'll see. Did you guys talk about what we think we're going to do record-wise, or are we getting there?
That's what we're talking about now. So we're starting with the first 6. We're probably not going to go through the entire schedule. But
yeah, I was going to say just
the Jacoby ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Just to wrap up the first 6. So again, just to go through it one more time. Panthers winnable game. Jets, I think, is absolutely a win. Steelers is a winnable game. Falcons is an absolute win, in my opinion. Chargers is going to be really, really tough. And then number 6 here, you got the New England Patriots. And this one for me, I've kind of learned with the Patriots. I don't know what to think, because last year I thought we were going to go into Foxborough and have a really good game. And we just sucked ass. It was terrible.
Probably the worst game of the year we played, right?
I feel like Bill just always gets them up for us. And the fact that he knows Jacoby.
Yeah, that is true as well. Now, the only bright side to this that I will say is the game is at home, 1:00 game in Cleveland. But how much is that going to matter? I don't know. If I had to mark down 2 losses out of the first 6, to me, it's these last 2 games, Chargers and Patriots. But before we get to the overlook of the first 6, before Deshaun comes back, what are you guys expecting for this Patriots game?
This one I think will be tough too. This is a little bit of a hot take that I'm coming out with for this year, but I think I think Mac Jones is going to take a step. I think we saw last year he kind of did exactly what Bill told him to and did exactly what Bill needed him to do. And I think this year he's going to kind of just surprise and take a next step, and they're going to be a pretty good team. They're definitely, in my opinion, going to finish second in that division, right behind the Bills, and be, what they go 10-7 last year. I think they could absolutely do the same thing. So I think it's going to be a tough game. I think that it is, if we're talking about, our first 4 games are obviously the easiest of these 6. Mm-hmm. But if we're going to talk about, let's say we lose one of those games we shouldn't, let's say the Jets, this would be the one that we really shouldn't win that we could, right? Because I think the Chargers are going to be really tough. This game is going to be tough, but they have weaknesses, and it just depends on if we can really exploit those weaknesses and have a couple big plays. This would be a game where if Anthony Schwartz wants to really just kind of pop off and have a big play or 2 from us, that would be really huge and could be a game that we're really not supposed to win that we do. So absolutely the second toughest game. Absolutely the second toughest game. I know. I was trying to think of 2 different words there to say, but definitely the second toughest game of the first 6, but more winnable than the Chargers, I would say.
Wes?
I would say, dude, I'm honestly, like we kind of said, I'm expecting 4-2. I think absolute worst case scenario, you get 3-3 out of it, which isn't ideal, but you take that. I still can't believe a lot of people think that, especially when before the suspension dropped, if it was going to be 8 games, people were saying that we'll go 3-5 or 2-6 even, in an 8-game stretch. It's just ridiculous, the fact that I don't know, people are just stupid.
Well, the only thing that's tough about 8 games, if that was what it was the next 2 games are against the Ravens and the Bengals, tough. Right? Mm-hmm. So,
but still, essentially, they were saying out of all those games, the only teams we beat would be the Jets and Atlanta. Come on, dude. Look at the rest of the roster. It's just annoying.
Yeah. So now that we've gotten through the first 6, this is just my opinion. I think we should absolutely be at least 500. heading into Deshaun Watson. Now, the best case scenario, in my opinion, is 4-2. Worst case scenario, you drop a game to the Steelers or to the Panthers, or worst case scenario, you drop one to the Falcons or to the Jets. We know the NFL is a every Sunday league, so we'll see. But I guess, what are you guys expecting going into Week 7 our record to be? Because I'm thinking 3-3 or 4-3 or 4-2.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much just said it. I guess I would say I'm more hoping for 4-2, but I'll take 3-3.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to pick right now, honestly, dude, I would say 4-2, and it might not even be the 2 losses that we think. Like, I think maybe we would win one of those games and drop.
Yeah, that's a good
maybe
point.
The Steelers game.
That's pretty much exactly what I was going to say. Just because it's just tough to start 4-0 in the NFL, period, right?
Yeah.
Because like I said, I kind of think of these games in tiers. I think of the Jets game, even though I expect them to be, honestly, probably a better team than Carolina and maybe Pittsburgh. I think that it's just Week 2 is tough for them. I think that we should absolutely win that game and the Falcons game. So there's 2 wins that I think that should absolutely be. 2 wins in the Steelers and Carolina, which I think that we probably should win. We might drop one of those. And then 2 that we probably shouldn't in Week 5 and 6, where, we could win and let's say we lose to the Steelers and beat the Patriots, right? So, 3-3, I think absolutely should be the expectation. Hope for 4-2. 2-4 is going to be rough. If we do only win 2 in those first 6, it's going to be a little bit of a disappointment. But then we have Deshaun coming in, right? So, it's going to really suck, but then we get to just have the franchise quarterback we've won it for 20-some years.
Hey, did you say the Jets are better than the Steelers, really? Like, they have a better team?
I think they absolutely have. I don't know how this season's going to go, but I think that their roster's probably more talented. They're just so much younger.
I mean, yeah, I think they'll be decent this year, but I don't know.
Like I said, them getting us Week 2, honestly, their first 4 weeks, they could start 0-4 because they play our whole division. Their first 4 weeks are brutal for them. They're going to be coming off a game against the Ravens and then play us. That's what they're going to be coming off of. So I think that it's tough for a young team, like I said, Week 2 before they gel together to try and beat us. I don't think they really have a good shot that week.
Yeah. Before we move on, just a PSA. We got about 10-15 minutes left before I got to wrap this up. But Cozy was at camp today. So I don't know if you're there, Cozy, but can you give us a rundown of camp today? What did you like? What are some things we should know about?
Cade York was awesome.
Hey, shut your video off. You're lagging.
Kind of people. I got a little bit.
Can't even hear us.
He's all laggy.
Oh, am I lagging that bad?
Now you're good.
Now you're good.
Just keep your video off.
Yeah.
We don't want to see you anymore.
Uh-oh. Now he's muted.
All right, thanks for coming in, Cozy. Let's
yeah, good talk. Boomer knowledge there on how to work these things.
And right when we get something we could I want to hear about it.
I know, of
about
course.
Camp, right? Yeah. I heard Cade York all over Twitter was just awesome today too. So that's like an underrated part of the season. Cade York could win us. He could win us one of those first 6 games. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I just started reading some of the tweets from today. I saw 1 or 2 that they were talking about Cade York. I haven't gotten through a lot of
we lost a couple. We can name 2 or 3 games last year we lost because of kicking. So, he could win us 1 or 2 of those first 6. Maybe that we shouldn't
Steelers being one of them.
Steelers, absolutely. That could be the factor of us going 4-2 or 3-3. So,
all right, Cozy, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Now we can.
Okay. So some other things that looked really well. Deshaun already kind of has chemistry with Harrison Bryant. That might be something to keep an eye on.
That's great. If our second tight end broke out, that'd be an awesome thing for this offense.
Yeah, they already have chemistry. He did. I will say this, right? Probably 2 plays before Murray got hurt. Deshaun threaded a needle to the back of the end zone in a red zone drill right to Amari, and he made an excellent catch. And everyone was pretty excited about that. Jacoby didn't look as bad as I thought he was going to. He actually looked like him and
Okay, that's a
Deshaun are
good
kind of
thing, I
working.
guess.
Him and Deshaun are working together a lot, so I was kind of impressed with Jacoby a little bit today on some of the deep balls. I know.
Oh, on
Derek,
the
you
deep
hate
balls,
this.
really?
Yes,
Okay,
I
that's
know.
great news.
I know you hate this, Derek, but Martin Emerson looked fantastic in coverage
Good.
on
I
several.
want him to be good. We picked him.
Hey,
Wait,
did
why are you hating on
notice?
Martin Emerson?
So one of the biggest things, Cozy, that I saw on Twitter as well too, was my least that might be Derek's least favorite pick of the draft. My least favorite pick of the draft was Mike Woods the second, and apparently he did very well today.
Dude, I don't know if you guys remember. Huh? Sorry.
So yeah, Mike Woods definitely had a pretty decent day.
He's making the roster.
I'll
With all
tell you
these
this.
injuries, definitely.
So something that definitely stood out is we didn't use a ton of like 3 tight end sets or like 2 tight end sets that often, from what I could see. But Johnny Stanton is playing tight end.
Like strictly.
Like I saw him not one time. He did not line up in the backfield as a fullback.
If he was our third tight end, I'd be happy. I like the guy. I think he's super athletic. I think he kind of showed in the preseason last year that he could play tight end. I don't really know why we didn't do that. I mean, maybe we just wanted him to work on it for another year, but I'd be pumped. I love Johnny Stanton.
Hey, just because. Oh, go ahead, Wes.
I was just gonna ask, Cozy, do you remember when we, after draft night, I was texting you? I said I think Mike Woods could be decent, bro. Like he might be, like he's definitely gonna make the roster. But I think he could be like fairly good. So yeah. I'm hyped that he's doing well.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to make the roster for sure.
I've seen a couple tweets since camp started, like he was doing well. So
I tell you what, if that guy who I did not like the pick of, if that guy turns into a good draft pick, never question AB. Right with AB. That's right.
Just because we're pressed for time here, we got about another 6-7 minutes left. Cozy, I want to get to you. Yeah, we'll get to the field after Cozy. But the Deshaun Watson suspension has finally been announced. We've been waiting for this for literally ever. Now that it's official, we've all kind of given our thoughts. What did you think about it? And what are you expecting for the first 6?
Okay, so I'm going to handle the first 6 question first because that's kind of what I dropped in on. I really think that we have a very good possibility of going 5-1. Especially after seeing Jacoby today. Like, I got really excited.
Mr. Optimistic. There he is.
I'm always Mr. Optimistic. I'm always the guy who goes into the games thinking we always got a shot to win. So, to me, it was kind of like seeing Jacoby be out there on the field, seeing it in front of my eyes. I was also super excited for Harrison Bryant. Like I said, he looked like he was more used in the offense today than Njoku was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, Harrison Bryant, he had quite a few catches, but I don't know. I'm going to stand by it that Harrison Bryant's going to have a breakout year. So I'm looking at 4-2 at the worst.
Really?
And for some reason, that Atlanta game has me super worried that we're just going to go down there and sleepwalk through it. Don't ask me why.
How are you saying? Oh my god! All right. How you think 5-1, but you're scared of the Atlanta game?
I think. Can I get something real quick, Cozy? And you can.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that too. I feel like because we know like the situation, like they know the situation. I mean, like I think it's going to be tougher for that to happen. I just feel like Stefanski, because they know we have a backup. It's not like an injury where like a week-to-week kind of thing. Like I think they're going to be really ready. I would hope for like every game. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's a great point. I agree.
Go harder than they normally would. You get what I'm saying, kind of.
So Stefanski's going to say to them, this is what happens when you play a good team. The coach comes out and he says, we have to play mistake-free football. We have to try and play perfect to try and win this game. And I think that they're going to do that every week of the first 6. I think it's a great point, Wes. I completely agree.
Yeah, because it's not like it's a one-game thing. Like, they know the slate of it. Like, I don't know. I just think they're going to be tuned up for every game.
I hope and I expect penalties are way down because of that same reason. So, yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a good point.
Yeah. So go ahead and finish, cousin.
What I was going to say is we had the second part of the question. What do I think of the suspension? I think they got it correct if Goodell lets it stay at 6 games and doesn't become like shove his power around and basically say, nope, she got it wrong, we're going to intervene, etc.
They'll look so bad.
They will.
And they'll get sued in federal court, and then they're...
Here's at the same time, I listen to ESPN radio for the most part, driving up here. Like, the actual, like, national broadcast. Not 850, not 92.3. The actual ESPN radio national. And they are everyone's upset that it wasn't 12, 14,
indefinite, yeah.
A whole season, indefinite. Like, they can't understand how this judge can rule this way. And I'm like, how can you not? She
took a month.
She took a month. Not only
15 pages on the release.
Exactly. It's not like she just didn't do her homework. She's looking at this from a legal standpoint.
She's not some hack like these guys.
And not a public opinion. Like, that's what I got out of ESPN Radio today was they're all mad because they have their own public opinion. Mm-hmm. And they're pushing this narrative that he should be this, and this, but he didn't even get criminal charges. And then they started to bring in like the whole gambling thing and smoking marijuana thing and how we have like people who are banned for this X amount of games for doing that. And it's like, well, I don't care.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Last question, and this is going to have to be a quick run through from everybody. We can dive deep into it more in the next podcast, but the Browns released voting recently on a new field design, and me and JC were talking before we hit record here, and the Brownie the Elf, JC, you described it as the running Brownie the Elf. It's kind of been used a lot around the facility. That is one of the options for the field design. They also have the Brownie the Elf that you see kind of as the standard, if you want to call it that. Then you have the helmet, and then you have kind of a tilted, maybe more old school helmet. So wrap up question from everybody today. What do you want to see the Browns field look like? I'm going to start with JC first, Cozy, and then Wes, and then I'll give my thoughts.
Absolutely. So first off, I just want to say it's crazy to me, not crazy, but it's interesting to me that they're pushing really, really hard the running Brownie, right?
Shut up, Wes.
The running Brownie, because that has been used so little, I feel like. It's never been our logo. It's been kind of used on old school tickets and promotional things and things like that. But you see it, it's everywhere. If you look, there's a video of JOK talking to it, kind of as a joke on Twitter, and it's on our goalpost padding. It's in a big banner there. It's of 3 of the 4 designs. That's the Brownie the Elf that's on 3 of those 4 designs. So I think it's interesting that they're really leaning into that running Brownie that we've never really seen them use a lot before. Personally, the standard Brownie, the Elf, I think it should be a primary logo. I've thought that my entire life. I think it's an amazing logo. I love a lot of the throwbacks in the NFL, but I absolutely love our Brownie. I think it should be, if it's in at the 50, like I think it might be, I'm going to be ecstatic. So, I just thought it was interesting that they're really, really trying to push that running Brownie because you see it everywhere, and you saw it on 3 of the 4 options for the field design. But, yeah, the standard Brownie, I think it's perfect, and I love it, and that's what I hope wins.
All right. Nosy. I don't think
all right,
there.
Too slow, Nostrum, man.
All right. Go ahead, Wes.
The Brownie Elf is goated. I love that thing. Like, my favorite shirt has that on it. I mean, I would be happy in general just for us to put something there again because it's been so annoying that it's just been blank. I've always hated the fact that Carolina does that too. Like I said before, like I used to like the Panthers, whatever, because they have a cool logo. But I just think if it's not the elf, I'm definitely gonna be like a little disappointed. I don't really like the other elf. I mean, it's all right, but I think I'd almost rather prefer just a helmet over that elf. But if we get the brownie, like the real one, oh, dude, that'd be so awesome.
I agree.
would
That's
love
what I
it.
want.
It would
Do you
look
like
so
Do you
good.
like the helmet or the helmet where it's like 2D? Because I like the 2D helmet better.
I can't even lie. I didn't even look at it. I didn't even look at it. I just
You'll
looked
have
at
to
the
look
brownie.
at it later.
I just looked at the brownie and I'm like, oh my god.
That was I agree
please.
that's the only one we need. I just put the regular logo brownie at the 50 and
Yeah, I
I'll
don't
be
even
ecstatic.
care, dude. Give me
love
that. That'd be so awesome.
I love that logo.
Cozy, I don't know if you're there. I'm gonna give you about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So, definitely without a doubt, like JC was saying, there was the interview at the facility. The running elf is all over the facility, like all over.
You were there, yeah.
Whack.
Did you see it everywhere you went, right?
Oh, they're huge poster sign that says "Welcome to our home, welcome to Brown's training camp," and it has the running elf. He's there on the field goal. He's on the field goal post, and he was on both walls there. Like, trust me, they are using the running elf. I'm going to be very honest with you. I would not be surprised to see the running elf as the automatic winner of the middle of the field, because there were some people who were talking about discussing like what field they want. And there were some people around me, like we had a conversation with the people next to us. They loved the running elf. They said they loved that it's back. Because
it was never in.
No. Well, apparently they were both designed the same year back in whatever 60 something.
Yep. I don't think I've rarely ever seen that thing.
Not much.
Okay, I can tell you as a season ticket holder, a few years ago they did like a throwback, like cover, like they did like they gave us our season tickets on essentially like a vinyl record, and the brownie elf was on like the vinyl, like it wasn't a vinyl record on the outside, but like on the cover for it, the running brownie elf was the cover of it.
That'd be a sick vinyl if it was the real brownie.
Yeah. So basically they have used the running elf. It's just we've never seen the running elf used on any kind of logos.
It's never been a logo. It's been like a promotional thing, right? Like where brownie used to be our primary logo back in the day. So it's just kind of interesting that they're really pushing it now.
Do you guys think that, considering that they have it on all this stuff already, if I'm just gonna start calling it the real brownie, if the real brownie wins like the vote, like are they gonna like honor that, you think, or are they just gonna be like, oh no, that one won?
No, me and JC
like,
were talking about this. Then? Yeah, me and JC were talking about this before. I think they know that everybody wants the brownie, and the running brownie. And I feel like if it's one of the brownies that wins, I think they're gonna say it's that one. You're gonna have a rigged election.
I think it's feelers. I don't think it's like, hey, if the logo brownie versus the running brownie, that's what I'll call it. If the logo brownie wins by 100 people, they'll be like, all right, cool, we'll use the running one. I think they did it as feelers. If the logo brownie destroys every other field design, they'll probably go with it. It was probably just to really get a feel of what the fan base wants, and if it's close, they'll go with the running one.
I think like they always talk about like, oh, we're such a traditional team and stick with tradition. That's why like the helmet is the way it is and the colors are the colors and everything is the way it is, blah 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 blah. So give me the regular elf then. Don't change the elf to some corny ass shit.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way. I want the standard brownie, the elf. That's the one I voted for. The other elf is growing on me a little bit, but I want the standard one. But
this just makes me hate the other one so much. I'm gonna be pissed now.
Unfortunately, gotta cut this short. I got something at 6, so I have to go ahead and get off of this. But as always, everybody, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed episode 3. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Let us know if you disagree, if you agree. If you really like it, subscribe. Whoa, hit my mic. Subscribe. I'd appreciate it. But with that being said, everybody,
Stay
have
bad.
a good one. Go
Bye,
Browns.
everyone except Cozy.